Hi, my name is Suraj. I'm an engineer and I built this Shadoof with my group.
I'm a scribe, I write poetry, and I manage treasury for the Caliph.
I am a religious scholar and an astronomer. I teach the muezzin how to read the sun so that he could pick the perfect times of prayer.
The students get character cards that represent what their role is, and it explains the role of, say, a merchant or a scholar or a scribe or an engineer during this time period.
You make a copy of every official document issued by the Caliph.
This is the role that they're going to play throughout the adventure. Each group also get what's called a knowledge scroll. That's a sheet of paper that contains all the information about their role.
Some engineers are responsible for building and running the state armories.
In Islam, both men and women are encouraged to become educated like the Greeks before them. The Muslims set up...
In terms of vocabulary and mastering academic content, the struggle is always having the children first be interested and second, be able to apply and use the language regularly. So the games really force the kids to do that, and force in a fun way because they were really motivated to do it. Having that rich time to apply it in the classroom is really, really valuable.
In the Ancient Inventions curriculum, we present students with a problem that a culture faced. In order to solve that problem, they have to engage in the engineering process. We've developed a series of hero kits that span across many cultures. The function of the hero kit is for students to be inspired and to get some ideas of exactly what they should be making or should be inventing.
This ancient invention is the vertical axis windmill. It is believed to have been developed in Persia somewhere between 500 and 900 AD. They stood several stories high and were often arranged in rows at high elevation. These first windmills rotated horizontally on a vertical axis and harness the wind to mill grain into flour.
Why would the leader of a nation need more flour? Feed more people.
We're going to be designing a windmill, and we have to make it spin by the force of wind.
The students make observations, they take notes, and then they get into their own teams and they sketch out a design and they build a prototype. We have them test their windmill at 2 different levels. The first is a basic test, which simply has them creating a windmill that can rotate with the power of wind. And then once they've completed that, we have them completing an advanced test, which stipulates that the windmill should be able to rotate at 120 rotations per minute.
What we did to find out the average was add all the RPMs together and divide it by 3, and we got 9.33. Now we're trying to figure out a way to make it spin faster.
Our axle wouldn't spin because the cup was too tight, so we had to loosen the axle by cutting 2 cups. And then we put the axle in and the axle spin because the cup wasn't loose, but the base was still strong enough to hold the axle.
Students are motivated to pass the advanced test because that means that they will be able to perform better at the civilization game. In the civilization game, we have a board that represents a city-state in the Middle East, and the playing pieces represent windmills. The efficiency of their windmill playing pieces depends on whether or not they passed the basic and advanced test. One turn involves a group answering a challenge.
What is this called? What is it made of? What script is depicted? What should you do with it?
After every turn, if groups have answered a challenge correctly, then they get to place a windmill playing piece on a field. Points are awarded based on how many windmills players have on the board and the efficiency of their windmills. Once students have been inspired by the Hero Kit and they've built their own in-class models, there exists an opportunity for students to apply their newly acquired engineering skills to something a little more challenging, like building a large-scale model of their prototypes.
Today we're about to build a Shadoof which can transport water from one place to another.
First, we started out with kind of like the frame of it, and then we started the middle supports and everything, and then we put the final pull lever. We filled the orange bucket in the back halfway with water, so it was easier to kind of maneuver the Shadoof.
The farmers were getting all their supplies from us, the merchants, and they had to make an irrigation system.
And I got the bucket and poured it into the pipe, and it ran all the way down and got into the bucket.
You guys, it's working! All right, my bucket overflowing.